Language, one of the most potent disseminators of ideology. Forms of relations between people based on inequality are embedded in language. Let us illustrate this with an example. Father-child, man-woman, supervisor-officer, colorful plane, and many similar word groups produce perceptions and ways of understanding that regulate life. When we say father and child, we know which the ruler is and which is the regulator. Today, the precise distinctions between binary opposites are more blurred than in the 1940s. This is because postmodern ways of life have to transform each individual into a free consumer machine. To consume freely, the initiative must lie with the individual at an early age. Creating the necessary perceptions to expand the child's consumption possibilities is essential. These perceptions necessary for consumption change the shape and structure of disciplinary strategies. This leads to new ways of life and new meanings.
What happened last night? Am I missing a tooth? Oh. Whose baby is that?
Conservative scholastics on political left or right cannot prevent this change. Everyone living in 2025 is appropriately postmodern because their lives are collages. Like a socialist buying a film television or using a company brand phone. Actions are completely colonized by capitalism. All life is within postmodern cultural practices. In this sense, the positioning of human beings in the economy determines ideology. People in the agricultural economy and the IT sector have different perceptions of the world and different beliefs about life. Economic arrangements determine ideology. All life is political in this sense, while material relations determine ideology. The period's ideology is embodied in human beings.
No, you wouldn't. You're a God-fearing man, Goya, aren't you?
Of course I am.
So your fear of God would prevent you from making a false confession.
There is no ideology in nature. Ideology starts with human beings and is shaped and embodied by human relations and production. Urban spaces were planned to prioritize palaces, temples, and state offices for a long time. As a result of the 1980 neoliberal policies, shopping malls were added to these institutions to determine their importance. Now, shopping malls are as crucial as government offices. This is the harbinger of the change in ideology worldwide after 1980. Human is no longer a worker but a consumer. Day by day, human will cease to be the subject of production and become the subject of consumption. Artificial intelligence has entered our lives and occurred in various production mechanisms. This means the end of civilization as we know it, because human beings are no longer the subject of production.
Recycled fabricants are a cheap source of protein.
Soap. They've bid us to ourselves.
The first cities built at the point where there was water took on a different density and structure from the factories. Now, shopping malls are at the center of the city. Just as ideology materializes in a city or the world, it also materializes in the world of the individual. The class position of human is reflected in his aesthetics and material world, in her relationship with nature. In the past, this reflection was much more pronounced. It's becoming less so by the day. Those who were peasants a generation ago are rapidly becoming part of the consumer culture. Some glorify this under the name of democratization of consumption. The democratization of consumption enriches the corporations owned by a handful of rich people, not the whole of humanity.
As we all know, when something falls from the sky, it can only have come from the gods.
The Soviet linguist Vygotsky told us that the development of human language skills can only be realized through participation in social life. Today, a significant amount of communication occurs in the virtual world on the internet. It's already becoming apparent that communication away from real experience will create generations that are not social as we know it. It's known that people who move away from genuine relationships have a narrowing in their language skills. Moreover, this shrinkage is even more dire when we consider the difference between an adolescent in Bangladesh and adolescent in Switzerland, where opportunities can make a huge difference. There are many ideas about the relationship between language and ideology. One of the most important ideas is the conservative nature of language to maintain order. Language is, in a sense, a prison. It carries the values and ideals of the system from generation to generation, preventing it from changing. Beyond this, however, paying attention to words with negative meanings is essential. For example, salak, which means stupid in Turkish, etymologically derives from letting go. It means out of order, out of decency, letting go, losing one's motto and path. Salgak is used in Old Turkish to go out of order and let go. And this word is an evil, harmful, marginalizing expression. Language keeps people in order with this and other words with negative connotations. It carries the commands: don't let go, don't break your code, stay in order, otherwise you become a salak. Protect the system. The language that maintains order threatens those who break it and let it go by calling themselves salak. May we all be salak. Goodbye.